everybody, welcome back to the show. Great to be here with you today. Brand new Cabral Concept, episode 3468 of the show. I want to go over with you a system that is actually employed by Google, Microsoft, and some of the biggest think tanks in the world. And the great thing is that we can implement in our lives completely free. So whether you're setting huge corporate-based goals and you have teams and you manage those employees, or you're still trying to manage your own life and achieve your own goals, what I want to share with you here today is the OKR system. So OKR stands for objectives plus key results. The big metric here is not necessarily the objective, which is your goal, right? We're going to talk about that in a moment, but actually the key results. That is what most of us are missing when we find ourselves off course and not necessarily moving closer to our goals. So I've shared this before, but one of the important things to understand is that as humans, it's pretty easy to be goal setters. The people that are not able to set goals are those people that are lacking self-confidence and really self-worth. And that's important to note as well, because those are things that you want to work on, because it affects your relationships. It affects it affects your health, everything. If you don't feel worthy, if you don't feel deserving in life, it can be quite detrimental. So I absolutely do recommend that. But if you have hope, if you have dreams, you set goals for yourself and you say, I try to work towards them, but you're not necessarily achieving the certain level that you believe that you deserve or that you can perform at, you can begin to use these OKRs. So let's go through them right now. So this is truly, again, how some of the top high performers do it, top high performing companies that I've seen. I've gone through their different playbooks that they use. And really what I try to do here today was summarize how you can get the most of it and just implement it for your own life. So I'm going to give you some examples here. One of the biggest ones, we help a lot of people with hormone health, with men with low testosterone, boosting it naturally, women going through perimenopause, menopause, and boosting their hormones, not just boosting them, balancing them in a natural way. So gut health, all of those different things. But a lot of times it's body transformation as well. And again, I always tell people there's nothing wrong with that. You should want to transform your body into the healthiest version it can be. Like, that is the truth, not an unhealthy version. You don't want to go from unhealthy to unhealthy, right? You want to go from unhealthy or not as healthy as you could be, where a lot of our clients are, to balanced and healthy and feeling good and looking good, right? So when you set that goal, though, you just don't want to say, I want to look good and I want to feel good, right? Because that's what a lot of people's goal are. I want to look good and I want to feel good. All right, that's fine. It's a good goal. If you feel something from it, great. But there's that is your objective. Look good, feel good. But there are no metrics that you can actually achieve there, right? So we've shared before what that should look like. Okay. You want to look good, feel good. What does that mean to you? Let's just start with the look good, right? Okay, I want to look good. What does that mean? Well, I feel like I looked good when I was, and then just people insert a number all the time in our practice. I feel like I looked good when I was, about 140 pounds, we'll say. Okay, well, how much do you weigh now? About 156. Oh, okay, so you then at least one of your goals probably is to lose 16 pounds, right? If 140 pounds is a good number for you in terms of your overall healthy weight, then great, 140 pounds it is, right? Okay. So when we look at that, we say, now we've got a real objective. We want to lose 16 pounds. Okay. But that is not how we're going to achieve these key results, right? So what are the key results? So the objective is not just lose weight. Okay. The objective is lose 16 pounds. So now we have a new objective. We've got a good goal. Look good. Okay, great. For this person, the subjective meaning to that is lose 16 pounds. Because they can then fit in the clothes that they used to wear and want to wear and all those things. Fantastic. That's their goal. Good. We're going to help them to achieve that. And then we say, well, that's the real objective now, 16 pounds. So what are our key results? Well, the key results for this particular person would be, what are we doing right now? And then whatever we're doing, we're going to add a little bit, right? So they say, well, on a daily basis, I get about 5,000 steps. Okay, great. Do you work out? Well, I used to. Okay, no problem. That means you're not currently working out, so it's okay. What's your nutrition look like? Like, pretty good Monday through Thursday, but then Thursday night, I typically go out with friends, and then, Friday through Sunday, I'm not as clean in my diet. Okay, so we've got about, 4 days or so of, maybe clean eating or so, and 3 not so clean. Okay, so I know what I'm working with. I'm not here to judge anybody. Great. So I can work with this. This is actually going to be very easy to lose 16 pounds because they're doing decent right now, but there's so much cleanup that we could do, so much cleanup, and we don't need to change their entire life. So we're just going to give them, let's say, 3 key results performers. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to say, we're not even going to increase cardio crazily yet, but we're going to increase the steps. We're going to go from 5,000 and 10,000 steps a day. That's what we're going to do. Now, if they want to do 20 minutes to 30 minutes of cardio 3 times a week, that's their prerogative. And the reason is they get their steps in that much faster, but that's totally up to them. But I'm just going to ask them for 10,000 steps a day. Okay. What does that mean? For them, it's going to mean about 40, 50 more minutes of walking. So it might mean like a 30-minute walk at lunch or after lunch and a 30-minute walk after dinner. Like that's probably what that would mean. Okay. So now they're good. But then I'm going to ask for 3 workouts per week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday would be my ideal. It works for most people and it kind of offset things. If not, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, all of that is fine. So then I get in those would be a combination of full body workouts, but we won't get too deep into that. And then the last one that I'm going to do is work specifically on their nutrition. That's going to be, paramount for me. And that's going to be, let's make a deal. Okay. So you want the deal right now is like, you want multiple times out per week. Totally get it. Do you want the 16 pounds weight loss? Is that a higher priority? Yes or no? They say yes, but I also want to be able to. Totally understand. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a 3-week cleanup routine. That's it. We're going to be able to lose probably 8 to 10 pounds in that 3 weeks, maybe even more. We've only got 6 more to go. Amazing, right? And then we're going to go down to a once to twice a week flex meal that they can have out with their friends. They can have a couple drinks if they want, enjoy a meal, not a problem at all. And then we're going to get back on track. But then once they achieve their goal, which is going to be pretty quick, I would say that it's going to be no more than 3 weeks plus 6 weeks. It's 9 weeks. And then they can have a twice a week, flex meal with their friends. So, and then they'll be at the weight they want. They'll be feeling good. They'll be looking good. Mood will maybe be improved. All those great things. So again, with 3 metrics, that's all that I'm going to ask for. The steps, the weight training 3 times a week, but it's going to be a full body. It's going to be with a little bit more intensity. And then it's going to be, and those are only 30-minute workouts. And then it's going to be the nutrition. And we're going to clean that up, but we're going to do a 3-day functional medicine detox first, and then we're just going to move into their nutrition plan. So like those would be the 3 key results. So it's like, yeah, you want to lose 16 pounds? Well, yeah, a lot of people do. Would you do those 3 things? And if you are, like, you're going to get to your goals. But then you're also going to track that, because our goal is like, we're going to lose 16 pounds over a maximum of 12 weeks, because we always use the 12-week year. So, but we could probably do it in 9 weeks, right? So like that's that. If it happens faster, amazing, right? But we still want to maintain it. So that's the big thing too. So once they go to twice a week flex meals, we want to make sure they don't start gaining the weight back. And if they do, that we can correct that. That's not going to be a big deal. On Mondays, we might just do a 1-day reset diet. Like it's like all of these things are figure outable. They really are. All right. So I don't want to get too deep on all of these because it's not a weight loss Wednesday show, but let me give you another example. So someone is interested in improving their overall relationships. Let's say like you've got a family right now and you want to be more present and you want to be more like present as a father or a mom to their kids, and also as a loving partner, like that might be one thing. So like, well, where do you start? So like, that's the goal. That makes sense. Like that's something that a lot of us want, but then we need like, what do we do? Like that's the key results that we're looking for. So the key results need to be this. You need to schedule a babysitter or someone that can watch your kids 1 night a week so that you and your spouse can go out once a week for dinner, have adult conversation, have a moment to yourself. Here's why, so my wife and I never really felt that we needed to do that when our kids were younger. And I'll share with you why, is because they went to bed earlier, right? But when my kids are now 11 turning 11 and 13 or so, it's crazy because I started this podcast many years ago and they were very, very young. And so they've kind of grown up on the podcast. But the truth is this is like, now they're staying up almost as late as I am. Not that late, during the school year, but you just don't have all of that time to be able to chat. There's just things that need to get done. And, if your kids are up, they might still need you for things. So it's good to have that 1 night a week. It really is. And then this is one that I've lived by. And I still think that this is so important, is that everybody in the family, if kids have a phone, if spouse has a phone, put the phones away from 6 to 8 o'clock at night, or whenever dinner time is, 5 to 7, 5 to 8, whatever you can do, put the phone away. And that's something I honestly, try to live by. There's almost no time that I'm on my phone during that time. And the reason why I think it's important is that you'll never get back the time that when your kids are young. That's just the way that it is. You'll never get it back. Once your kids are older, they, have their close friends or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. It's going to be challenging to get back a lot of that quality time, those conversations that you wish that you had. So really important. And then just, some scheduled time with them. So I always schedule activities for the weekends. I don't plan for us just to, we're just going to have fun on the weekend. Like, do something, right? Plan to do something. Doesn't have to be crazy. I'm not talking about expensive things to do. Just kind of planning that day, planning that time. So those are things that I try to do. I'm not perfect. My family's not perfect by any means, but I honestly do try. And this has been quite helpful. I just wanted to share that with you. All right, let me just give you one more. Well, one or two more. How am I at with time? Perfect. I want to make sure that, again, I'm always respectful in the podcast. I want to make sure that each and every day I can bring you, hopefully, another helpful tips-based show. But a lot of people listen to the show are practitioners. A lot of people are maybe entrepreneurs as well. We work with a lot of entrepreneurs in our wellness practice. And a lot of people, let's call IHPs, are starting to look to create their own health-based practice. So fantastic. So what would your objective be? Well, I want to launch my health coaching practice. Let's use the 12 weeks again, in the next 12 weeks. Okay, what do you need to do, right? That's a great goal, but what does that mean, right? What does it mean? Well, we've got a lot of our own IHP shows on this, but really what you need to do is you need to start letting the world know that you exist. That doesn't mean you have to even start working with clients yet. But the way that the world understands that you exist now is it's actually easier than ever, and it's being on social media. And that doesn't mean that you need 100,000 followers. It doesn't, because you're not going to work with 100,000 people. It's just that's unnecessary, right? So you can work with a client a day and have a great practice, and you'll be good. So here's what I recommend is first start to give. First start to teach, right? There is this thing called the law of reciprocity. Anything that you want in life, I believe that you can have and achieve, but you want to make sure that you're giving value to others and do that first before always asking. So give before asking to receive. So put out great content, teach for free, help people, build connection, answer questions, and then the right people will absolutely ask for more. They'll be attracted to your practice. All right. The second thing is that you need then a home for these people to go to, right? So they need to find your, if not location in where I was in Boston, Massachusetts, but they need to know where you are virtually online. So it'd be like StephenCabral.com. What's your website home going to look like? And you might plan that out over the next 12 weeks. We're actually going to be doing all of this for a lot of our IHPs because we know that it's one of the biggest hindrances to them helping people. And the goal is, how can we get more IHPs helping more people? Because there are so many people who need their help. And then those are two parts of the goal. And the third one will be just simple systems to be able to make your clients successful. So email follow-up, being able to get them the specific protocols they need, those types of things, just easy things. But okay, those are key objectives that you need in order to create your business. And so why don't we keep it at that? We'll keep it at those three. But what I essentially was trying to share is that don't have a vague goal, make it pretty crystal clear, right? At the end of 12 weeks, I want to achieve this. Or if the goal is too big that it can't be achieved in 12 weeks, we do it then over a year or 4 12-week years or 2 12-week years in 6 months. And this is what I want to achieve at the end of 6 months. This is what I can do in the next 12 weeks. Great. What are the 3 biggest key metrics that I can do? I keep calling key metrics, but that's really the metrics are the tracking, but the key results that I need to achieve over that time. Okay. I don't need to worry about the 16 pounds of weight loss. All I really need to worry about is the 3 workouts per week, plus the 10,000 steps per day, plus the 3-week equal life functional medicine detox that I'm going to do. And then the follow-on nutrition plan to lose at least 1 pound a week for the next 9 weeks. And then once you've lost the weight, then you're just going to maintain it, right? Because you wanted to lose 16 pounds. So that's what you're going to do, right? Those are your 3 results metrics that are going to then allow you to achieve your objective goal. So the objective goal is amazing, But what's even better is the magic that makes the goal happen. And now those are the 3 key results. So those are more important than a goal. And here's why. It's not about just the journey. I'm not saying that at all. But doing the work is always what also makes us feel worthy of achieving the goal, right? So if we were just to lose 16 pounds, we're like, well, I don't know, like, did I deserve it? I took this magic pill and I just lost the weight. It's like, and then again, there's no magic pill. There isn't. Even with the GLPs, I talk about that all the time. There are a lot of repercussions. So by doing the work, you start to see the progress. By seeing progress, motivates you to do more. Doing more, again, makes you achieve more goals and results. And then once you achieve your first goal, you set bigger ones in the future. And that doesn't mean to lose more weight, but it means like, okay, this can carry over, that if I can achieve this, well, maybe I don't want to lose more weight now, but maybe I want to run my first 5K or 10K or whatever it is. And so you get more excited about these goals. That's what I've always seen in my life. When I look back to my late teens, early 20s, trying to set small goals for myself, I mean, I had very modest goals, embarrassingly small. And so if I ever, pictured myself in my own private office in this, old mill building in Maine that I get to come to every summer, I would never in a million years have imagined that. So did that just happen overnight? No. I mean, what happened is just over a series of 12-week years, my confidence began to grow. And I said, okay, if I can achieve this, what's the next level? Do I want that? Does that make sense for me? Does it make sense for my family? Okay, then let me go after that. If it aligns, right? If it aligns with who I am, what I believe, how I want to serve people, great. Then that's what I'm going to try to next. And again, it is about growth. I've shared that before, and I don't want to turn this into a growth-based show, but growth is almost directly correlates with happiness. And here's why. Because as you're growing, there's pain involved. But if you've been through it enough, you realize like, oh yeah, but this is life. Right? This is part of life. It wasn't this pain of trying to grow. It would be the pain of falling behind. And so it's like you get to pick your pain. And then you say, oh, but with this pain, I'm actually growing and becoming what I want instead of falling further behind in life and just being upset with where I am in terms of progress. So hopefully today's show was helpful. I do hope that you choose maybe just 1 or 2 goals in your life. I think that's really the maximum to start with. And then with those goals, get crystal clear and then create 3 key results out of your OKRs in order to be able to achieve over those 12 weeks. I would love to hear what yours are. Feel free to leave them in the comments. As always, thanks so much for being a part of this community, and take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.